Hello, Devanshi. Hello, Amanda.
Hi,
How
Rohit. Thank you so much.
Hello.
how are you doing, guys?
We're doing great. We're really excited for this event, and I know a lot of work has been put in to kind of put everything together. So very excited to be here, very excited to lead the session.
This is an
Yeah,
amazing program. We're so happy to be here representing all the way from the San Francisco Bay Area. So we are so happy to be contributing to this community. It's awesome.
let me tell you guys, we are really excited to have you both here, and you guys are the first speakers for today's conference. And as you can see, there are so many participants already waiting for the conference, and they have been really pretty excited and pumped up for the sessions.
Yeah, I
So
see that we have people from all over India, so this is
yeah,
great.
also
Yeah.
we have participants from other countries as well. As you can see, we have partnered with some international communities as well, so we'll be looking for some international participants as well.
Awesome.
That's
That
amazing.
sounds great.
Awesome. Then Devanshi and Amanda, I would request you guys to just give a quick introduction about yourself, like what you guys are doing and what your session is going to be about today.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, everyone. I'm Devanshi. I am a cloud solutions architect on the data and AI team. I'm a recent Microsoft hire, so this is definitely such a big opportunity for me to be able to speak on this platform. And our session is about extracting text and audio to improve business insights. So I'm excited to lead that.
Awesome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Amanda, and I'm also a cloud solution architect at Microsoft on Devanshi's team, AI and analytics. And we're so excited to be here. We really put together something very special for you all and hope that you either learn a new skill or brush up on something you're already familiar with. We hope you take away something great from this. So we're so excited to present this to you today.
Awesome.
Awesome. Cool, guys. I'll drop and requesting. So, Devanshi, you'll be presenting your screen, right?
I'll be sharing my screen. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just
Awesome.
wait for your screen. I'll put it on the screen.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks, Rohit.
Okay, thank you. So,
Awesome.
so Amanda, I'll be adding you after the session then.
Yes. So for anyone who has questions during the presentation, please
Yes.
feel free to pop them in the chat. We'll address them as best as we can during the demo. However, we'll also reserve 5 to 10 minutes at the very end for any questions you may have in case your question doesn't get addressed.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
Rohit, I just want to make sure that you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen. So
Okay.
I'll step down and I'll also remove Amanda from the screen. And once the session is done, then I'll put Amanda up. Awesome.
Sounds good. Awesome. All right. Hi, everyone. Once again, our session is going to be about extracting value from text and audio to inform business strategy. So to give you guys a little bit of a background, we are working with this fictitious company called Tailwind Traders, and I want to show you guys what that looks like. So Tailwind Traders is a fictitious retail company. It sells home appliances, gardening tools, decor, kitchen accessories, basically anything you can think of. And so if I go down here within plumbing, I see that there's a variety of products already in their inventory. You can also kind of feature out to see what category you want to look within. But the nice thing about Tailwind Traders is that it has this smart shopping feature. So if I was a customer and I was in a hurry, didn't really have the time to look through this website, then what I could do is press on Smart Shopping, and I could upload a picture of whatever item it is that I'm looking for. So in this case, I'm looking for certain garden pliers. So I'm going to upload that. And immediately I'm shown 3 different options of pliers that the store has in their inventory already. So I love the features that Tailwind Traders already has. So what is the main problem that we're going to fix? The main problem is that there is an increased amount of support tickets already. So there's one person that's going through the website, dealing with 10,000 support tickets a day. And manually, that's a lot of work. So our goal then becomes to somehow decrease these amount of support tickets and deal with them in a more efficient manner. And so what we're doing to solve that issue is storing, analyzing, and extracting different insights from these support tickets. Again, these support tickets are going to be both in audio and text form. And to kind of create this process, we're going to be using Azure Cognitive Services, primarily text analytics, and then Lewis, Logic Apps, and Power BI. And if you're not familiar with these tools, we'll be going over them in more detail on the next few slides. Awesome. So this is the tech stack that we are primarily using. Python is for our coding language, and then cognitive services from Microsoft Azure. So we're using speech to text, text analytics, and Lewis. And then we will be also using blob storage as well as Power BI. So this is the overall project architecture of what we've worked on, and it gives you a full rerun of everything that's happening, and I'm gonna break it down for you guys. So initially, what we have as our input is both text files as well as audio files. The text files are gonna be simple CSV files, and then audio files are gonna be unstructured data. And we're going to store this input within blob storage over here. As soon as we do that, we want to kind of prepare and train this data, right? We want to perform some sort of analysis on it. And so the way that we do that, the tool that we use, is Azure Cognitive Services. Finally, extracting all of that insight and training all of that data, we want to store our new information into Azure Blob Storage. And finally, we want to extract our insights and display them with Power BI. So this is, again, the full rerun of what we are doing in this project, but now I'm going to break it up even further so that you guys can understand what each of these technologies are in charge of. So first up, we have Azure Blob Storage. Azure Blob Storage allows us to store massive amounts of unstructured data. And I'm going to clarify the difference between unstructured and structured data. Unstructured is data that has no predefined format. So this can be video or audio files. And then structured data is going to be one that does have a format, as the name kind of says. And so this will be tables or files. And they're most likely always found in relational databases. Awesome. So next we have Azure Cognitive Services, and this is an amazing tool, guys. This has been built for developers to perform some sort of cognitive intelligence. It provides REST APIs and SDKs, and you don't need to have direct AI knowledge for using this tool, which is great. So within Azure Cognitive Services, there are a bunch of categories. There's language, there's vision. The one that we're going to be using is language. So within language, then there's text analytics. And we want to be able to extract key phrases and sentiment from text analytics. So key phrases are going to be the main words from the customer's issue, and sentiment is going to be one of three things. So when you think about sentiment, think about the tone that the customer is trying to convey. Is it a more positive tone? Is it negative? Or is it neutral? And so that's the kind of information we want to extract from these support tickets to kind of gain some insight from it. And Azure Cognitive Services allows us to do just that. Finally, we have Lewis. And Lewis is a machine learning algorithm that allows us to both train and test our data. So we get all of that in the prepare and train stage. Finally, we want to, once again, store that into Azure Blob Storage. And we want to display our insights with Power BI. What is Power BI? Power BI is a great tool that allows you to create visualizations based on your data. So you have this data, you've performed some analysis, but you want to be able to display it in some way. And Power BI allows you to do just that. Awesome. So we've gone over the architecture. Now we're going to dive more in detail and go over the services and data workflow diagram. So in this case, we actually have two workflows that we're dealing with. There's one in red over here, and then one in green. So I'm going to start off with the red one, and you guys can follow along. So the red workflow works as such. We again have the input of both the text and the audio files, and we are storing that within Azure Blob Storage. Then we want to perform some sort of analysis on it using speech to text, text analytics, or LUIS. And we want to display that within an output table. This is most likely going to be a CSV file. And then we want to store that CSV file back into Azure Blob Storage and display these insights with Power BI. So kind of just what I went over in the architecture. That's one of the workflows that we've created. Another one is primarily to help Tailwind traders automate its business workflow. So this is the one in green right over here, if you guys can see. Awesome. So we start off with an input of an email, all right? And this email is going to say something like, hey, my dishwasher is broken, and I would like a refund. So the customer sends in this email. We're going to process that through Azure Logic Apps. What is Azure Logic Apps? It's a way to create simple workflows and automate your business processes. So once that email goes into Azure Logic App, we are going to connect it with LUIS. And LUIS is that machine learning algorithm that I talked about that allows you to both train and test your data. And we're going to try and extract the intent of what the customer is saying. Are they talking about price? Are they talking about design? What are they talking about? So we try to extract that insight, and then we want to be able to send a response to the customer saying, hey, we've heard you. We know what your issue is. So this response email is going to say something like, hey, we have received your request regarding price, and these are the following steps that you should take. And then we want to output that to the user, essentially. So again, these are the two workflows that we have worked on. And I will be showing you guys a demo of both of these so that you're more familiar of how it looks like more visually. Awesome. So if I go back actually for 1 second, you see this output table that I'm talking about over here? I want to show you guys what exactly that looks like. So this is the output content. And the columns over here, all of these columns, I think there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 columns, they represent the characteristics of a singular support ticket. And then the rows are going to represent support tickets themselves. So we have a bunch of different characteristics over here. We have support ticket ID. We have the date that the ticket was created, date it was completed. So this is hopefully the date when everything is resolved, the customer gets some sort of feedback on what to do next. We have the customer ID, so whoever is filing this issue, the audio file path, the transcribed text. So in this case, we're saying the delivery took so long that I no longer need this device. How can I return it? And the theme that this belongs to is speed. Now, these two columns are really exciting because this is what we've extracted from cognitive services, and they are key phrases and sentiment. So what are the main words we should be focused on when it comes to looking at this customer's issue? And we have them right here. They're delivery and device. And sentiment is one out of 3 categories. Remember, if you guys remember, they are positive, neutral, and negative. So this one has a more neutral connotation to it. And then similarly, we have another support ticket right here. Date created, date completed, and in this case, we do have an audio file path. And we have the transcribed text, which says, I have seen similar products for slightly lower prices. How can I return this product? So the theme that this is related to is price, and key phrases are similar products, lower prices. Sentiment is neutral. So here I showed you guys a couple of the columns, and this is an entire list of them. Once again, these are the characteristics of each support ticket, right? So we have support ticket ID, customer ID, date created, date completed, escalated, theme, sentiment category, as well as key phrases. Great. So before I go into future implementations, I actually want to do a couple of demos with you guys. So great. I want to start off with Lewis. Again, if you guys remember, Lewis is that machine learning algorithm that allows you to train and test your data. Okay? So what I've done over here is I have kind of gathered all of the intents that are possible within these support tickets. So we have different categories, we can call them. We have design, features, reliability, security, services, speed. And if they don't necessarily belong in any category, then we also have other as an option. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on a certain intent. So let's say design. Great. So within design now, we have a lot of support tickets that belong in this category itself, okay? So I'm gonna list a couple, and I hope you guys can read my screen. I'll zoom in a little bit. Great. So the first one over here that I've highlighted says, the hammer I purchased is supposed to be ergonomic, but when I tried it out, it's obviously not designed to be ergonomic. This is false advertising. I need a refund ASAP. So apparently the customer is unhappy with the design of the hammer over here. And then the next one says, why am I unable to view the different colors of a certain product on the website when I click on it? Again, some sort of design issue with the website instead of the product this time. Finally, we have, I do not like the quality of the dining table I just purchased. Which other brands in kitchen tables do you sell? So again, asking for different designs of the dining table. These are all very relatable customer issues that you guys also must face when you're shopping for some sort of item, right, in stores. So this is a very relatable and applicable solution. So what we've done is we've trained all of this data, and now I want to test it with my own customer issues, right? Something that pops up in my head. And so what I'm going to click on is this test button up at the right. And I'm going to write down a test utterance. An utterance is the same thing as a customer issue, just keywords that you guys can be familiar with. I'm going to say something like, can I get someone to help me install the new carpet I just bought? Who do I contact? There we go. So that's my statement that I'm asking. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, great. So as you guys can see, this issue belongs to the services category or the services intent. And then we can also see the confidence score right next to it. So this is great because we can put in any utterance now and see which category it belongs to. Another nice thing about Lewis, if I close this, is that it allows you to kind of strengthen your data set, right? You can add in more utterances in this category, or you could also label a certain word with an entity, which can also help you kind of improve your testing data set. So that's Lewis for you guys. That's how it works. I'm going to move on to logic apps now. Let me just close this. Awesome. Okay, so logic apps is a way to create simple workflows. And this over here that you guys see is a simple workflow. And I'm going to show you guys a little demo of this, and this is really exciting. I will explain all of the steps soon, but the first thing I want to do is just hit run. And then I'm going to go ahead. So I am the customer, and I am sending this email to the company Tailwind Traders. So I'm going to say something like, I have seen another similar product for a slightly lower price. How can I return this product? And, you know, for vague reasons, we're just going to say issue over there. And I'm going to go ahead and send this in. All right, so now the company has had my email, right? So now I'm going to start seeing this workflow pop up. Awesome. So the green check marks over here mean that this step has successfully been completed. So all of them have been successfully completed now. Great. So I'm going to go through each step one by one. The first step is that an email arrives from a customer, right, with some sort of issue that they're having. And then what we want to do is we want to remove all of the HTML from that email to just extract the content. And then we want to link it to Lewis in this third step over here where it says get prediction. And we want to be able to identify what the intent is. Then we have parse JSON because Lewis returns a whole bunch of things, but within that, we only want the intent. And so once we get the intent, we want to add that into the response email right here. So again, what we're expecting is a response email that says, hey, we've received your request. So I'm going to go over here, and I think I've already received that email. Awesome. So in my inbox, as a customer, I've received this output. Here, I can just maximize the screen. Okay, so as you guys can see, our initial request was something like this. I have seen another similar product for a slightly lower price. How can I return this product? And so we are responding, or the company is responding rather, saying, hi there, thank you for submitting your request to Tailwind Traders. We have received your request and will be contacting you shortly. We see you're asking about price. For issues with price, please reach out to Tailwind Traders Price Team at outlook.com. And further questions, you can find more information at the FAQ Center. We're eager to respond to your request, Tailwind Traders Team. So there's a lot of great things about this workflow and what the customer has now received, right? First of all, that was so fast. By the time that I explained this workflow, we had already, received a response. Second, now the customer knows, the customer as well as the company knows that we are talking about price as our intent, and that they are directed for the next steps to an appropriate price team that's only dealing with these price support tickets. So our goal essentially is for Tailwind Traders to categorize all of the support tickets that they're receiving and direct them to the appropriate group that only deals with those sorts of tickets. Awesome. So that is, once again, what Logic App does. It allows you to automate your business workflows. Great. So last but not least, I want to go over Power BI, which is the visualization tool. Very, very interesting, guys. This allows you to display your data in any way that you want. And so over here, I have 5 different dashboards that I'm working with. One right here, second, third, fourth, and I guess we're just going to call this a big 5th dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and explain all of these to you guys. This is how we've collected the data and displayed it. So within this region, I have selected the United Kingdom, Spain, France, and I believe this is Germany. Yeah. So we've selected all of these countries, right? What I want to do is within these countries, what are some of the support tickets that are found and what is the related sentiment to them? So I have, in a sense, queried this right over here. I'm saying show sentiment by text. So I see the text says something like a screwdriver costs over $100. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you guys can see it in the gray box over here. A screwdriver costs over $100. Why are prices so inflated? So this seems to have a negative sentiment attached to it, right? And then here also, let me just zoom in. Sorry about that. Okay. And then we have another one saying, are there any Christmas sales coming up? The sentiment attached to that is neutral. And let's just do one more. Are there warranties provided on certain installations? So that again is neutral. So I really like this visualization because I'm able to see, one, what are all of the customer tickets I'm receiving within this one area, this one region, and at the same time, what is kind of the sentiment attached to them, right? Are my customers more happy? Are they more upset? What's happening? So that helps us with that. Okay, awesome. The next one we have over here is a little word dump, okay? And if you guys are a little familiar with this, what it is it's the words that are in bigger font mean that they are found more often, right, within all of the customer tickets. So it seems that delivery, order, website, shipping, and refund are kind of these big words. Delivery, I think, pops up 19 times. Order pops up 22 times. Website 17, shipping 11. So maybe, there's been issues with delivery that the customers are unhappy about. So Tailwind traders can gain some insight out of this and say, hey, maybe we need to be more efficient when we're delivering our items, right? A better process that they can display to the users or the customers, sorry. So that's kind of the key phrases visualization that we have over there. Awesome. And then this is going to be our 4th visualization, which is support ticket ID by theme and sentiment. And so right over here, we have a lot of themes, right? Again, as I said, these are the different categories that we're having. So speed, price, features, services, reliability, security, design, support, and other. And immediately my eyes go to price because it seems to have the most negative sentiment attached to it. So Tailwind traders can look at this and say, hey, maybe something is unclear about price, and look at the related customer support tickets and fix up some sort of solution. Similarly, we can see that security has, a more neutral sentiment to it, more neutral sentiment to it. So you can perform any type of analysis on this. Awesome. And then our last one over here is keywords for service issues, keywords for price issues, and keywords for speed issues. So simple bar graphs over here, but they allow you to extract information such as this. We're able to see that order and refund are kind of the words that have the highest count within service. So maybe there needs to be a better refund policy. You know, our customers unsure about how many days they can wait till they are able to no longer return an item or a product that they've just bought. So these are the types of insights that we can collect from these beautiful visualizations. And again, this is just the take that we took, but you can always cater this to your needs and how you want to display the data that you collect. So again, that's Power BI, another great tool. And now I'm going to go back to future implementations. So closing off, guys, we already have all of this great stuff that we've kind of created for Tailwind traders, but there's always room to improve. And so some of the considerations that we've taken into account are accounting for different accents and other languages when we take an input. If you guys remember, right now the input has been audio and text files only in the English language. But can we work with different languages? Can we work with different accents? That's something that we would like to incorporate. Another thing that Tailwind traders can consider is storing these private recordings in Azure. We want to make sure that all the customer data from the audio and the text files are stored securely. And then last but not least, what about a chatbot? We want to be able to have a frequent communication with the customer. Maybe once a customer sends in their initial problem and they have questions following up with that problem, a chatbot would be great for that. So these are some of the options that we've cultivated and can maybe make happen in the future. Awesome. And then last but not least, guys, these are some resources for you to look at. The first one is going to be our GitHub link. And I'm just going to show you that really quickly. So this is our GitHub. And feel free to clone this. And you can, I think the data file is in this as well. You can look at our code for Lewis and text analytics, how we brought that all together. And then you can also look at the README, so stuff like that. And then this is the link to Azure's cognitive services. I highly recommend that you guys check these out because there's such amazing APIs on it that allow you to do so many things. And then finally, we have some tutorials for Power BI and then blob storage. And that should be it. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you liked the presentation and the idea. And now we have time for questions. So I will stop sharing. There we go. Awesome.
That was a really nice session, Devanshi.
Thank you.
I hope people would have liked it. And I see like Amanda has already answered most of the questions in the comment box.
Great.
But still, I'll show some of the